So here's what they don't tell you about running a business. Sometimes you have to fire your client. Yes, the very people that your business is there to serve. And no, it's not always because they're difficult. Let me explain. Welcome back to the Confessions of a Medical Clinic Owner series, where today we're going to dive into a topic that every clinic owner, heck, every business owner can relate to. All money isn't good money. So in our world, what that means is not every patient is going to be a good fit for your practice, whether it's because of non-compliance, communication breakdowns, or even safety concerns. There may come a time when it's in everyone's best interest to part ways. So let's get into why this isn't just okay, but it's absolutely necessary. Let me paint the picture for you. We had a patient who had a really rough experience at their last provider. She was a new patient to us. She told us about her grievances there, and we started what one of our providers calls recovery care. We really wanted to provide the consultation that she should have been getting all along. We wanted to build the trust with her, not just with us as a practice, but rebuild her trust with medicine and practitioners and providers. We wanted to make sure that she was educated on her patient rights and also on her treatment plan. We wanted to partner with her, and so that's what we did. We sent her for screenings that were actually missed at her prior provider, and did things like helping her to set up mail delivery of her prescriptions to make it easier for her. We wanted her to feel like we were advocating for her and in this with her. We wanted her to feel welcomed by us, and we wanted her to know that we were there to help and assist and answer her questions and make sure that she was educated in all aspects of her care. And what did we get in return? Non-compliance with her treatment plan. Not that she wasn't in agreement with the treatment plan, because she just would not adhere to the treatment plan. And then there was some disruptive behavior, and unfortunately there was about a verbal hostility towards staff, and that's always a no-no. And not only was it frustrating, but it was also becoming unsafe. It was an unsafe environment for everyone involved. And you don't follow the treatment plan, it's unsafe for the patient. And when you're getting verbally hostile with the staff, even over the phone, that's an unsafe environment for the staff. So we realized that there are times when people are hurt, that they bleed on people who did not cut them. And we felt like that's what was happening at this point in time, that even though we were trying to partner with her, she was so used to have to fighting for her rights that she was fighting even when there was no need to fight. So that's when the policy had to kick in. Unfortunately, we didn't have a policy in place at that time. So because of this situation, we developed a conduct and discharge policy. We had never had an instance like this, and hopefully you don't either, but be better than us. It's prudent that you have it. Hopefully you'll never have to use it, but have it so that you are setting clear expectations with everyone up front of what is acceptable behavior and what is not acceptable behavior for them to read and sign and acknowledge and become familiar with. Too often we have a slew of policies for the staff of how we need to conduct ourselves amongst each other and with the patients. And we had those policies in place. What we were missing was a policy for our patients to adhere to. And now we have one. When should you consider terminating a provider-patient relationship? Let's break it down. Non-compliance with treatments. If a patient consistently ignores your medical advice, if they're always missing their appointments, or they're just refusing the treatment, it's going to put their health at risk and impede your ability to provide them with adequate care. Inappropriate behavior, disruptive behavior, threatening behavior towards your staff or other patients is absolutely a no-go. Your team's safety and the morale is really important. It matters, and it should be taken seriously. A breakdown in communication. The provider-patient relationship really thrives on trust and communication. If that breaks down, providing care is going to become ineffective and stressful for everyone. Proximity issues. If distance makes it impractical for the patient to continue receiving care, it might be time to transition them to someone closer to them or more convenient for them. And I know with telehealth, it does make it easier for us to see our patients. However, there are some treatments and assessments assessments that need to be done in person. So if proximity is going to play an issue, you might consider transitioning them. Now, let's be clear, termination should never happen based on any form of discrimination or during sensitive times like while they're pregnant or while you are providing acute care. And the reasons I listed are not the only reasons where terminating the patient-provider relationship may be appropriate. They're just some of the more common reasons. And keep in mind, patients can fire you. That is a real thing. At the end of the day, we always want to prioritize patient safety first. And if you do have to discharge a patient, make sure you're doing it in accordance with your policy and make sure you're doing it in a legally sound manner. Here's a few tips on how to handle this process in an ethical and professional manner. Number one, make sure your decision aligns with your practice's policies and, again, any legal obligation. Number two, keep records of the incidents or issues that led to this decision and make sure you're being factual and objective. Number three, this is not a decision to make in a silo, in a vacuum. Don't make this decision alone. Make sure you are gathering input from your staff and from the providers to make sure this is the right move to make. Number four, make sure to send a certified letter with a receipt to the patient outlining the termination reason and their transition period. Number five, make sure to provide any resources or referrals to help the patient find new care. You are ending the provider relationship, but you are not abandoning their care. Number six, once the notice period ends, you can stop providing them with care and close out their files professionally. Hopefully by this time they will already have found another provider and you will have been able to transition their charts and historical records to their new provider. If you're wondering how things turned out with our patient, once we notified the patient of the policy and we talked to them about their behavior, which was inappropriate, the patient got themselves together. Sometimes people don't know what your expectations are of them, and who knows what they were doing in our practice that might have been appropriate somewhere else, or it could have been the reason why they were receiving the type of care they were receiving. I don't know. Once we let them know that their behavior was in fact not appropriate and would not be tolerated and would have consequences and they would be discharged if it continued, they got themselves together and we've had no more problems out of this patient. Again, I honestly believe that's not who they were. They just weren't showing up as their best self because of things that had happened in prior situations at other practices with other providers. However, we have a policy now and they are adhering to the policy and everyone is much better off for it. Look, it's never easy, but protecting your staff, your patients, and your practice is most definitely worth it. Boundaries aren't just important, they are essential, not just in our personal lives, but in our business as well. Have you ever had to part ways with a customer or a patient? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear how you handled it. And if you are a medical practice owner, don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more tips, and share with someone who might need it.